Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another GRE Monday. We are truly happy and grateful because we received a lot of positive comments, and I guess our program has been informative so far, to some extent, to say the least, and we are really proud. Anyway, if you're still wondering how your writings are being assessed or want to know more about task instructions, I should say you're in luck, because in this video we're going to go over scoring rubrics, and also we're going to take a closer look at task instructions. Without further ado, let's see what Mrs. Angana has for us tonight. Hi sir, thank you for joining GRE Monday again.
Actually, I'm addicted to this program. I'm more than happy to be here. I like you, and actually the followers, those people give us very good feedback. Actually, I've received so many good comments, and I really appreciate this. So.
Yeah, that's great.
A kind of addiction anyway.
Yeah. You said earlier that we got 4 different types of instructions. Yeah. And I think if you go over the pool of argument, then you can find a single similar argument prompt, paraphrase it a little bit, but followed by different instructions. So it just occurred to me to ask you, which one is more important, the argument prompt itself or the instruction?
Actually, as you know, the pool of argument, I mean, the list of topics is available before the test date. Why? Because actually GRE guys, they know what they're doing. So they give you the same prompt, but it is followed by different instruction. So your strategy, your product would be different when you have, for example, a question asking you to write something, to develop something which just like, I don't know, focuses on evidence is different. The same prompt asks you to develop something and organize something which focuses on questions, definitely is different, and assumptions. So, you know, these 3 different instructions usually, but they are interchangeable. Right. I mean, because of the nature of the prompt that they have, they could be followed one of these types of questions. So it is not something very strange. You see the same prompt in a pool of argument, it is repeated 2 or 3 times, and it is followed by different instructions.
So to get a good score, it does really matter to know exactly what you're asked to do.
Definitely, it is very important. I remember it was just like 2 sessions ago that I briefly touched on the criteria of scoring, and I said that it is holistic. It's not like IELTS and TOEFL that each sub-skill gets 25% of the final score. But there are 5 major criteria which the reader keeps in mind when he wants to assign you that final score. Before talking about those criteria and the rubrics, I want to give you a prompt which is repeated 2 or 3 times, and it is followed by different instructions. In the pool of argument, it is available. You can go there and see that, hey, it is repeated. You know, sometimes students come to me and say that, hey, there is a typo problem or something like that, technical. Why? I say that, why? Why is it like this? Say that, hey, the same prompt is repeated 2 or 3 times. And I said that, haven't you paid attention to the instruction? Instruction is different. It's asking you just like to do something different. Right. So take a look at this. You know, a bunch of developers, they just want to take out a loan, right? Right. And they say that, hey, we want to get this loan, and we want to establish a jazz music club. They have their own reasons. You know, one of the prompts says that jazz music is extremely popular in the city of Monroe. Over 100,000 people attended Monroe Jazz annual jazz festival last summer, and blah blah blah. And the other one is like this: the jazz music is extremely popular in the city of Monroe. Over 100,000 people attended Monroe's. The reasons are the same. But as you see, it is restructured. Yeah, paraphrased a little bit. But finally, both of them arrive at the conclusion that, hey, we need money. We need that loan, right? Because of these reasons, we're just going to establish that. But each of them is followed by a different instruction. You know, one of them is the evidence-based instruction. The other one is assumption-based instruction, and the other one question-based instruction. So you see, when we have a prompt which is followed by assumption question, there is high probability that you see the same prompt followed by evidence question or question-based task. The point is this: the products would be different, but the foundation to all these three different instruction types is the same.
So what you're saying that these three instructions are kind of the same.
Yes.
But the other one, which is, I mean, the fourth type,
alternative explanation
is a little different.
Yes. And I told you that's the least common one. So, you know, if you want to answer evidence-based instruction question, you got to go for the assumptions first.
Yeah, right.
And for the other one, question-based, you need to know the assumptions. So, base of all these three types of questions is the same, but the way that you are going to organize them, the wording and the product, actually, in short, is going to be different.
All right. There is another part to this question. The following was written as a part of an application for a small business owned by a group of developers.
It is important because you know you got to know that who said what to whom. It is very important, right? A bunch of developers, they want to take out a loan.
So should we address developers in our writing, or?
You can talk. You can say something like this: that hey, in the argument provided by developers, you know, it is very important to drop the name of those people who said, who built this argument, right? This is very important because again, ETS wants to know that did you read the whole prompt, the whole topic or not? You just pay attention to part of that. Yeah. It is important. It definitely it works toward toward enhancing the coherence of the final product.
All right. As for IELTS, we know that there is a clear public version of band descriptors which says what you need to do in order to get different bands, like 5, 7, 6, whatever. Do we have such a thing?
Yeah, actually, yeah, sure we do, but it's not like that. It's not in the form of a table. You know, as we know, it's not. It is holistic scoring system. So it's not like this that each sub-skill has a fixed equal weight to the other sub-skill. So they decided. I mean, ETS guys decided to provide us with 6 different sample essays, followed by comments.
So based on the comments, we can guess what we're
definitely. Actually,
required to do.
Based on the comments, I can say that there are 5 major criteria.
Right. And what are those criteria?
Okay. The first one is argument, features, and analysis.
Right.
Development and organization is the second one. Main point support, the third one, and language control, word choice, and sentence variety. And the last one, conventions of written standard English. You see, the fourth option, it says language control, word choice, and sentence variety. So you see that it's partly grammar, partly lexical resource. This is not something that we have it in IELTS. You know, there we have lexical resource absolutely different from grammar accuracy. So you see, the rater keeps all these criteria in his mind. And based on that kind of feeling that he has at the end of the day, assigns you a score. Right. And for take a look at the other slide. For score 6, you know, you said that instruction is important or not, right? Yeah. For score 6, you know, sub-skill, argument, features, and analysis. It says clearly identifies aspects of the argument relevant to the assigned task. So that's relevant to the assigned task. If the task asking you to go and just like, I don't know, write something related to different questions that could be asked. Definitely the product is different.
Yeah, different from finding the assumptions.
Yes. So it is one of the, and you see, if I just wanted to tell you that which one of these 5 criteria are actually more important. Yeah, the ones, you know, the 2 or 3 ones which are located on the left side are more important than the
language skills. So language skills are not as important as, they're important for sure,
if
but
they do not impede the flow of speech, it's okay.
Oh,
you can easily
so
get
if you
4.
have some minor errors, if it does not impede understanding, then
actually score 4 is a perfect score for non-native speakers, and actually all over the world for all programs like PhD program, master's program, it is accepted, and it's not that difficult. If you can write in a way that it doesn't impede the flow of speech.
Right.
If it doesn't cause ambiguity or something like that. Ambiguity. Ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
Ambiguity. Something like that. Definitely, you can buy yourself 4 if the 3 other criteria are met.
All right. So we got to work. Let's read the same comment for, no, not the same comment, or I mean the same comment for this subskill, so to speak, for score 5.
Yeah.
It says, again, the same thing, clearly identifies aspects of the argument relevant to the assigned task. So it means if you want to get it 5 or 6, it doesn't matter. You've got to clearly identify the aspects.
No, actually, yeah, identifying the aspects also is very important. You know what parts are the premises and reasons, and what part is a conclusion, and assumptions. As you know, assumptions are part of the argument.
They're part of the argument, of course.
So it is very important to show the ETS guys that, hey, I know which sentence here is the conclusion, and I know which ones are the premises. This is very important.
Right, but the only part that differs is this. Examines them for score 6. We got examines them insightfully.
Insightfully, and for score 5, it's a generally perceptive way.
We don't want to go over the terms though here, but
we do not have a very clear-cut definition of insightful. But to me, it's at university research-like level.
Jesus, that makes it really difficult for candidates to get such a score. If that means...
the fundamental question is this: do we really know 6? I'm sorry, is that no? Do we really know?
You said no, yeah.
Do we really need 6?
But it really depends. Probably not, but maybe you need it for personal fulfillment, or I don't know, whatever. Maybe you want to prove yourself that you're something there.
In that case, you're going to read a lot of samples and write a lot and waste your life and try to get 6. But in all the universities around the world,
4 is okay.
Yeah, 4 is okay.
All right. So let's move on. For the other sub-skill, as you said, the other one is your, what is the next one? I just
next
couldn't
one,
find it.
development and organization.
Development and organization. So look at this, develops ideas cogently for score 6, organizes them logically, and connects them with clear transitions. Can you explain?
One of the major points that actually I teach in my classes is this: transitions are very important. Like however, like in addition, like furthermore. Very important because they show the coherence of something which is written based on logic. You do not use however without a specific target, right? Out of the blue, you do not put furthermore there, right? So it is very important for the e-rater, the computer software program, and for the human rater to detect these transition words and the cohesive devices which are used there. Very important.
That's interesting. It doesn't matter how naturally you use cohesion, but it matters how logically you've used cohesive devices.
It is important. The level of cogency actually is determined by that human rater, but the existence of the transitional words
will be used by the e-rater. Oh, that's nice to know. All right, and the next one is
support. Main point: support. One of the most important features that a lot of Iranian students have some fundamental problems there. They do not know how to support. They just come up with a good reason. They find the main point, but they don't know what to do with that.
And I guess this one also shows the importance of the instruction, because you're going to support what? You're going to support something in relation to the instruction.
Yes, again, yes, you're going to support in a way that instruction asks you.
Sure. And so, for example, for score 6, we get this: provides compelling and thorough support for its main points. Right? And now language skills, those two that are more related to
I guess we talk about the rest in the following episodes, because today I really wanted to talk about the instructions, and that was a good question that you started the program to now with. Instructions are very important, and we have to know 4 different ways of developing the final products, the essay, argument essay. And that's the same story in issue analysis that we will talk about in the future, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we many people, we are looking for shortcuts. Templates, prefabricated structures, sentences
Don't
and
touch
stuff.
it. Don't
Oh, really?
Don't even think about it. Because ETS has some rules and regulations for the GRE exam, and one of them is that if they find out that you have committed plagiarism, they're not gonna report you any score. And how could they find this out? They have developed their own software program that compares the final products with the previously received and scored products. So it is very dangerous to write something which has been written and used once for the ETS.
So guys, that's an unequivocal no to this question.
That's
Are we allowed to use tables? That's a very loud no to this question. Because they usually ask me, do we have some templates for GRE?
Even for IELTS, even for TOEFL.
We don't have such a thing, of course, but
no, because we call it mechanical language, and
because mechanical is not addressed here directly in the rubric. So
no, I have seen the word mechanical somewhere. Yeah, on ETS website for the GRE.
Oh, really?
Yes, I remember that. I read it somewhere, and even I heard it in some talks. Yes, no, we have mechanical. The word mechanical is used on ETS website
so the same thing,
for the GRE AW.
Because for the TOEFL test in the rubrics, then we got this memorized. If you use memorized answers, you will get 0.
No, I'm sure that I've seen the word mechanical language. But anyway, it is mechanical.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, I don't know, it's a fact. It is not something that needs to be proven. If you memorize someone else's sentences and
you're not producing anything, by the way, so why should we?
Why do you want to go for PhD if you cannot
produce
produce
a simple sentence? And, why bother?
Really, that's a fundamental question. Why do you want to go for master's or PhD? Those people who go for these courses and programs, they just want to help the society, help the world. They want to just like push back the frontiers of science. They don't want to copy and paste the same. The kind of research method that we have in Iran, it is not accepted there at all.
So true.
If you have something inside, if you have what it takes to become a researcher, it's a good idea to apply for the PhD.
Otherwise, forget about it altogether.
Forget about it.
Okay, thank you very much, as usual, and thank you for watching us. See you next week.
All right.
Bye.